Now, long-time viewers of my reviews may recall back to when I reviewed Deathly Hallows Part 1 for the Nintendo Wii.
Spread the word, people. This game is I'd rather eat flavoured every flavour beans. I'd rather stick a wand up my ass and cast Crucio. I'd rather eat diarrhea dropping out of Buckbeak's hole.
I didn't like it. The controls sucked, the graphics were horrible, the game was incredibly repetitive and infuriating, and all it did in the end was make me wish I could cast Imperio so I could tell it to go fuck itself. But I'm willing to give Part 2 a chance. After all, the movie is much more action-driven, so maybe that will transition to a better game. Yeah, my hopes aren't high. Now, Deathly Hallows Part 2 was developed by EA Bright Light, the creators of such classics as Spare Parts, the Half-Blood Prince video game, and the Speed Shift. Hey, that's actually a really good game. Oh, it was the half-ass PSP port. Well, before we jump into the game, let me share with you my experiences with the Potter games of the past. First up, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone for the PlayStation 1. There we go. Now, for a first attempt at a Potter game, this really wasn't that half bad. Admittedly, it hasn't aged well, especially with the facial animations and the lack of an analog stick, but it reminds me of a more innocent time, where your enemies didn't fight you with a wand, but rather
wizard crackers.
And when shit gets real,
super wizard crackers.
Life is stupid. But in terms of gameplay, it wasn't what I would call a classic, but for its time it was certainly playable, and I got a fair few hours of enjoyment out of it. You could learn a whole bunch of spells, there was plenty of wizard cards and birdie box beans to find, and you could even play Quidditch. Although, one thing that freaked me out about this game took place after you completed it. You know how once you finish the final mission in a game like Grand Theft Auto, the game ends, but you're free to roam around the city as you please? Well, Philosopher's Stone is a free roam game of sorts, but when you finish it, it doesn't let you go back into the game. And, well, watch.
Can we panic now?
But let's go ahead to Chamber of Secrets for the PlayStation 2. It doesn't work. Okay, let's try Prison of Azkaban. Well, that works fine. Does Chamber of Secrets have any scratches? No. Then what's the problem? Is it because it's blue? What, do I have a racist PS2 or something?
I never liked those blue discs.
I'll just get some footage from online. So yeah, Chamber of Secrets pretty much took everything that made the first game so good and improved them. I loved how the game truly opened out Hogwarts for you. I mean, it was Grand Theft Auto. You could fly around the ground on your broomstick. There was a shit ton of collectibles to find. You could play Quidditch here too, and it had Zelda-like elements where newly unlocked spells could let you go where you couldn't before. It was a Potter game done right, and Chamber of Secrets not only stands as my favourite Potter movie, but also my favourite Potter game. And it was fun as hell to just repeatedly hit your allies with flipendos. I mean, seriously, if you ever play the game, just keep repeatedly jinxing Mrs. Weasley and let the laughter ensue. And Prison of Azkaban, the video game, wasn't bad either. Here you could fly Buckbeak around the ground, you could now control Ron and Hermione, with each character possessing different spells and abilities, and it got a graphical overhaul which makes this game look better than the more recent Potter games. Prison of Azkaban wasn't quite as good as Chamber of Secrets, but if you did buy the game then it certainly wasn't money going to waste. The next three games I never got the chance to play, but I hear that since the games got rid of the free roam aspect which made the second and third games so good, it ruined the overall experience. Then I had the pleasure of playing Deathly Hallows Part 1, which disgraced the source material so much to the point where they might as well have gone all the way by making the classrooms into strip clubs and getting Rowan Atkinson to play as Voldemort. Actually, that would be awesome. I'm getting off track here. Let's review Part 2. So Part 2 of the video game follows the events of the film to a T, and each mission is interjected with incredibly lame renditions of scenes from the film. Character models look as bland as hell, and the voice acting, for the most part, is just awful. I think only Rupert Grint reprises his role in the game. Everyone else is voiced by sign-alikes, and in some cases they sound okay, like with Seamus and Neville, but characters like Snape and Voldemort, put it this way, they weren't even trying.
Do not stand in the way of the Dark Lord, Minerva!
So once you get past the cutscenes, you'll notice that the game is less of a wand-dueling affair, but more of a shooting game. With wands. I don't know what the developers were smoking. All three major consoles now have motion control. Why not use specific motions of each control setup to perform different spells? Like the twist and flick. Wingardium Leviosa. Die!
It's Leviosa.
So you get the point, the implementation of the technology sucks. Even Kinect's voice command, how cool would it be to say Expelliarmus and it would cast it for you? Besides, a wand is something you wave. With style. Not point and rapidly press the B button. Oh, and that's another thing that pisses me off. In the Wii version of this game, you have to press the B button so much that by the time 10 minutes of gameplay is up, you are not going to feel your finger. Now this is remedied slightly when you get the Expulso spell, because in this game it's it's a machine gun. That said, the machine one sounds interesting. So yeah, what the spells do in this game have nothing to do with what they do in the books and movies. Expelliarmus now gets rid of shields, Impedimenta is now a sort of homing missile, and Petrificus Totalis is a freaking sniper rifle!
Neville, I'm really sorry about this. Petrificus Totalis.
You're a little scary sometimes. You know that. Brilliant, but scary.
The only good thing I can say about this game is that it can be fun for about 10 minutes. But beyond that, you start to realise how ungodly repetitive it is. You fight the same enemies over and over again, using the same tactics over and over again, and pressing that goddamn B button over and over again. And the final boss in this game stands as one of gaming's most disappointing. You know how in the movies where Harry and Voldemort are in that Priory Incantatum thingamajig? Well, you gotta steer the D-pad so the beam is level off the ground. It's essentially a game of skipping. The final battle between the almighty and powerful Dark Lord is settled using a magical skipping rope. That's how low we've gotten, people. And when you complete it, you'll be glad because you can say you beat this pathetic excuse of a game. But on the other hand, you'll feel violated because you spent £30 on a game that lasts 3 hours. That's £10 an hour. On minimum wage, it will take you twice as long to earn back the money you spent on it. This game reeks of Aragog's sweaty asshole. I'd rather drink Polyjuice potion that had Hagrid's butt hair in it than play this putrid steaming pile of mandrake diarrhea again. I'd rather eat a bottomless bag's worth of regurgitated gillyweed whilst getting a basilisk fang shoved up my ass. And whilst I waited for the poison to kill me, I'd have a troll bogey milkshake with a side order of goblin excrement. This game is playable, and I feel that's me being very generous towards it. If you're a die-hard Potter fan, and I mean a die-hard fan, then you may get past the game's incredibly repetitive nature, and you may get some enjoyment out of it. But even then, it's unlikely. My final rating is a 2 out of 10. It's such a shame that quite possibly the last Potter game is so bad. But here's me hoping for a Harry Potter RPG, perhaps? Create your own custom wizard or witch, kind of like Mass Effect meets Potter. That would be awesome. And the game needs motion control. I mean, I'm not usually one for motion control, but a Potter game needs it. Don't believe me? Follow the link below to see what a Potter game should be like. Till next time.